What's up? Got a CIVIVI button lock here. So it's already been checked in, and so we're gonna check it out. Let's uh let's see what's going on here. This is the CIVIVI Quibit, Qubit. Not sure how you pronounce it, but it's Qubit. Pretty sure the last part's bit. So is it Qubit or Quibit? I don't know. But it's kind of hard to mistake it. It's let's just call it the Quibit or Qubit. How about that? I'll call it the Qubit. Civivi Qubit, and it's in 14C28N. A lot of these Civivi button locks are in 14C28N. Um, I think I think I have one that's in N690. Um, so desirable for me. The 14C, I like it. It's a good steel. And these Civivi button locks are at a price point with this 14C that it's right, to me, it's right in line with what it should be for the quality of the knife, the blade steel. Man, these are just right there. So this particular one is a little smaller knife, um, but the action on this one, this it's got two ways to get it out. You can thumb flick it, or you can spidey flick it. And both of those, the detent that's created by uh, the button lock, the detent is perfect. This thing, I mean, for a button lock, I'm going to say it rivals anything that I've got. This thing's amazing. The springiness in there, the detent nature of it. So, I mean, there's not a detent ball. It's just this button with a spring, but even it acts like a detent. Whoop! Snatches it in with authority. There's no detent lash. I'm going to say detent because it's not a detent ball, but it creates the detent function. So, yeah, I mean, the action on this thing is just stellar. And when you push the button, the blade just runs free. It's on bearings up in there. Super nice. Yeah. Some of the best action in a knife of this price range and caliber. Some of the nicest. It's just wonderful. Um, the button is recessed, but not below the height of the scale. So it does stick up above the scale ever so slightly. It's not a lot, but it is just a little bit above that scale. Very easy to find it, super easy to depress it, and um, yeah, pretty solid. The grip on this knife, so it's one of the nicest things. This, I'm going to say aluminum scales with like a black flat powder coat. The finish on there, I don't know what they're calling it, but it's a wonderful finish, and it's got a great texture to it. So I mean, it's semi grippy. It really is. But everything is just rounded and milled so nice that this thing just melts in your hand. It's a lightweight, very comfortable. I mean, you just love to have this in your hand. Now, if you go thumb forward with a strong grip, here's that Civivi jimping, and it's aggressive. So you're going to bite in. The two thumb studs kind of come into play for me, and lock my thumb in there, create a little platform. So a wonderful strong grip. Four fingers on the knife. This embeds into the back of my hand. So could I take some resistance in a forward motion with this knife? I could take some, but it's just my 2 cents on these, my opinion. but this is not made for that. And it's because there's no finger guard. And if you met resistance going forward, you know, whoop, you're over this blade. Speaking of this blade, super thin blade stock, which the result is uber sharp right out of the box. This thing is crazy sharp. And we'll get to that. You can choke up on this too. I don't think I talked about that, but it's got a little choil area that you can get up in there and do, you know, fine work, whatever, you know, whatever this is down here, but you can get up really tight on this and ultra control, almost scalpel precision. I don't know about that, but it sounded good, I guess. So pocket clip. Let's check out this pocket clip. Put it in a pocket. I just happen to have a pocket right here, and I like using these for it because they're triple stitched at the seam here, super thick. So if it'll run here, it'll run anywhere. And whoop, that thing's just butter. Slid in there, money. So deep carry, it does peek up just off the back of this pocket clip slightly. You can kind of see it in there. But easy in the pocket and easy out. And on the thinner material, yeah, it still grabs, plenty of tension. It's gonna, wherever you put it in the pocket, that's where it's gonna stay. It's not gonna flop around in there. It's gonna stay right where you put it until you forcefully pull it out of there. So the pocket clip's wonderful. Safety with this knife, yeah, there's no contact. The thinness of the scales, there's no way you could get your finger in there. Let's check this tip. Whoo, it's right out there at the end of this. Let's see. Yeah, no, it's been engineered properly so that you can't contact that tip. Yeah, so it's safe knife, safe to put in your pocket, safe to reach in there unaware. A feature I didn't talk about, but this pocket clip, it's got recessed screws, and it's inset into the scale. So it's reversible. So pretty nice to see that. A little bit of love there for left-handed people. You can reverse that pocket clip and it's inset on both sides. Very nice. Price and availability. So I'm only going to cover where I bought this knife because this was an Amazon purchase for me. And so I ordered it one day. It arrived at my house the next day. So I'm going to give them some love, and that's where I'm going to list it from. Is it available in other places? Of course it is. But it is available on Amazon, next day purchase, and I paid $66 for it. So aluminum scales, great action, great ergonomics, super slicey blade. This thing, I mean, it came just as slicey as it could possibly be. It's super thin, will run through just about anything. Of course, now it's struggling here, but this thing is super duper sharp. All right, maybe I need to put it on a strop. Seems to be bound up a little bit. There it goes. Yeah, so it's super sharp, and I paid $66 for it. I really, really like the knife. I recommend it. It's one of those that as soon as you put it in your hand, you run that action, you put it in your hand, you go, yeah, that's a good purchase. For $66, 14C28N, I don't think you could go wrong with this deal. I really don't. Yeah, I like this knife a lot. Anyways, appreciate you watching. Okay, indulge me. I ran a couple of passes on a strop, and I think we're in better shape now. I couldn't let that sit, man. You know, saying a knife is sharp and it can't cut a piece of phone book paper. So it had a burr. So a couple of passes on a strop and we're good to go. So Appreciate you indulging me. All right, take care.